Welcome back to GMP Scenario, presented by PharmaContentLabs.com.
Let's talk about something that happens all the time in GMP environments. It's a situation that seems, well, harmless at first. It's that temporary change that somehow, almost without anyone noticing, just kind of becomes permanent. But here's the thing. It's not harmless at all. It's actually a ticking time bomb for your quality system.
So how does this even happen? Well, it's a pretty familiar story, right? Picture this. Day 1, QA gives the green light for a temporary change. Everything's by the book. It's got a short duration, strict conditions, a very clear end date. Looks great on paper. But then, 3 months fly by, and you look over, and that so-called temporary change, it's still being used, day in and day out. But there's no extension filed, no one's reapproved it, and most importantly, nobody has reassessed the risks.
And this really brings us to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? Is this just, a practical shortcut to keep things moving, an acceptable workaround, or is it something much, much worse, a critical failure of your entire change control system?
Okay, let's not beat around the bush. There's no gray area here. It is absolutely a failure. This kind of process drift where a temporary fix just sort of becomes the new normal without any formal review, that's a major compliance problem.
And yeah, there's a name for this. It's a change control failure. And why is it a failure? Because by their very definition, temporary changes have to have strict time limits. They need formal reviews. When we let them just drift on and on, we're basically ignoring the core safety and quality rules the GMP is built on.
So, what's the big deal? Why does this matter so much? Well, let's put on our auditor hat for a second. First off, you're bypassing validation that's absolutely required. Second, you're taking all those risk controls you carefully put in place and you're weakening them. Third, you're now running an undocumented process. And finally, and this is a big one, it's a huge red flag to an inspector that your whole quality system might be broken.
And don't for a second think this is some little secret that auditors don't know about. Oh no, they are actively trained to hunt for these exact scenarios. This is one of the classic gotchas they look for, the temporary change that just magically became permanent. It screams that something's wrong.
Okay, so what happens if you find one of these lurking in your facility? Don't panic, there's a clear 3-step path to fix it. First, stop. If it's safe to do so, stop using the unauthorized method right away. Step 2, document everything. You need to know exactly how long this has been going on and which products or batches are affected. And third, you've got to kick off a formal assessment, which usually means opening a deviation to really dig into the impact.
And you know the saying in GMP, right? If it wasn't documented, it didn't happen. So what needs to go in that formal assessment? Well, you need a solid rationale for what happened. You need a full-blown impact assessment on product quality. You have to make some tough decisions about what to do with the affected products. And then you have to make the final call. Either go back to the original validated process or start the real process of making this new one official.
And let's be super clear on this last point. If you decide, hey, this new way is actually better, you can't just sign a form and call it a day. Formalizing a change is a big deal. It means a full risk assessment, triggering validation, updating all your SOPs, and getting everyone trained. You have to do the whole shebang, by the book.
This really just sums it all up perfectly. It's like looking at two different worlds. On one side, you've got the compliant way, controlled, time-bound, with formal approvals and documented, risk-assessed extensions. That's the right way. On the other side, that's where the danger lies. The world of, oh, just keep doing it, with verbal extensions, no reassessment, and that slow, dangerous drift into becoming an undocumented standard. This is exactly what gets companies into trouble.
So, I'll leave you with this question to take back to your team. A little bit of homework, if you will. I want you to really think about your own operations, your own records. How many of your temporary changes right now are actually just permanent risks hiding in plain sight?
Thank you for watching. If this helped, like and subscribe. More GMP scenarios coming.